Buyers are viewing 13.3 homes. The average house is getting 21 showings before it's getting an offer. So we're going to talk a lot about buyers today, Richard.
Yes, we are.
And I know I always get you for stats, but
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about let's talk about the buyer, psyche and what's happening out there, and why they're looking at 13.3 homes, and what it's actually, I made an error. It's not 14% deals that are falling.
Yeah.
It's 15% of deals that are written. So for the month of, it's odd, like when I went into Paragon, I got two different types of stats. So today when I looked at it, there were 692 deals written in August.
Yeah.
Only 9,700 showings. So that was down because I think we had close to 12,000 showings in July.
Yeah.
There were 307 price changes and 107 terminated deals. So that's one in every 7 offer.
Yeah.
Is not making it to home
Isn't
base.
happening.
So what do you think that? What are you seeing? What are you seeing with your buyers?
So I've got a variety of different buyers, all the different price points. The hardest price point is that like 475 to 600.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of the market.
That's the biggest chunk of all the deals happening. So if you're in that type of block, just get ready for some serious action.
Yeah, there was 248 homes sold year to date from 400 to 600.
Yeah. And I think it's also reflective of Nova Scotia income for people as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, if you're coming from Ontario and you're bringing a big job with you, or working from home, or you're a business owner, okay, fine, different price bracket completely. But for the majority of Nova Scotians who are born and bred Nova Scotians, live here all their life and now looking to either make a trade up or buy the first house, they're 450 to 600. That's where they can qualify comfortably. So we're not breaking the bank, we're not being house poor, we can comfortably do that on a mortgage. So that's where all the competition is.
Yep.
That's where I'm finding multiple offers are still going on. First day or two, you better get your offer in quick. And if they don't say leave it open for 24, 48 hours, all offers in by Sunday, 5 p.m., all that kind of stuff, you stand a chance.
Yes.
But we just had this yesterday. Day one, 569, nice place in Middle Sackville, really good home, fits all the purposes. And she was like, I want this house. And I'm like, great, let's get our offer in. Get a phone call from the agent a little later saying, listen, I don't have to tell you this, but I like you, I work well with you. Just to let you know, there's another offer maybe coming in tomorrow. And we're like, well, we went in at full ask price. So you talk to the buyer and the buyer's like, I'm done, I'm tired, I want this house. What have I got to do? Okay, let's give them a little bit more money and tell them we want this wrapped up tonight. Done, finished, conditions, off we go. But she's looked at more than 13 homes. We were probably at like 16, 17 homes before we actually said this is the one.
Why is that?
I think there's a lot of choice. I think buyers are picky. Mm-hmm. I think buyers sometimes go, oh, wait a minute, I like that one, but somebody else put an offer in before me and got it. So there's the remorse of you waited too long and therefore you didn't get a chance to offer. And I think the rest of it is that situation where if it's multiple offers, there's 2 prices on a multiple offer. There's the price that wins the offer, and then there's the price that the house sells at.
Yes.
They can be different. You can go in and win the offer at 592. Something happens on inspections, house goes sold at 580. Your buyer said, well, I offered 585. What the hell happened?
Home
There's
inspection.
2 prices. There's 2
Yes.
prices. But just understand, if you want to offer 592 and nothing goes wrong, inspection's perfect, you're paying 592.
So I don't take a lot of buyers out, as you know.
Yeah.
But didn't I do it this week?
I'm the opposite.
I had a buyer this week. We looked at 11 houses. And
all in one day, because you're that efficient.
No, God, no. We looked at, 5 or 6 homes and on the one day and the rest on the next day. But one that we were at on, what's today, Friday? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep, one that we were at on Wednesday, it was, the place was immaculate. Like you weren't even allowed to wear bare feet in this house. Like,
oh wow,
yeah.
they give you little booties.
Yeah,
Here's a pair of slippers.
No, she had clean socks. She had,
wow.
yeah, it was great.
Good grief.
You know what? And I usually don't wear socks, but that day I did. And beautiful except for the backyard.
Right.
And my buyer's like, nope. So, and I love the house. The house is beautiful. Then we go out again on Thursday, and we go back to see that house a second time.
Right.
They're like, and before we went out, I called them. I said, just so you know, I just got a call from the agent. There's an offer on the house. Do you still want to see it? Because yesterday you didn't like the yard.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, we still want to go see it. And sure enough, this is the house that they want.
Yeah.
And we found ourselves in competing offers. There was 3 of us.
3? Wow.
Oh yeah,
So it wasn't just you and someone else. It was like, no, let's play a party, and another one came in.
And granted, this house had been on the market now 30-something days. So, because it does happen like that, right?
Yeah, I've got a story on that one as well.
We were there, and I said, look, I can't call this agent up to say, you know, what can I do to make a deal work? I said, that's not going to happen. I said, I don't have a relationship with that agent.
Yeah.
I said, we know that the seller is elderly, like an older, maybe my husband's age. No.
Ooh,
no. I'm going to be killed for that one. No, they were an older couple.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I said, it doesn't work for my personality, but let's write a love letter. And I said, let's just talk about how nice and well maintained the house is.
How we can see ourselves enjoying.
Put a picture of the dog on it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I called up the agent and said, look, I said, these people are from New Brunswick. They have great jobs here. The agent that referred me, they've worked with them like 3 or 4 times buying a house. They're solid.
Yeah.
And we only went not even $5,000 over asking, and we got it.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going to have to go out again today.
But also I think that shows that we're not in 2021, 22 anymore, where multiple offers means you are absolutely going over asking price, like by a chunk.
Yep.
Now it's like, okay, we could be competing, but I think a lot of the competing offers sometimes like, I'll just give you asking price. Or do you know what? We'll go 10K under asking price.
So initially we just went in at ask when I knew I was only competing with another person. I said, they may not even, but then now there's another person in. I'm like, oh, what would you like to do?
Yeah.
And, you know, like your buyer, they were, I mean, just after 11 homes, they were done looking at stuff like this is a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, this agent doesn't play games. I said, she does not color outside the lines. Like she is so straight.
Yeah.
I said, no, she's being extremely honest because that's who she is. And anyway, I didn't think we were going to win.
But you got it.
Yeah.
For only 5K over.
Less than 5K.
Less than 5K. So that's a win.
I was surprised. Yeah. So, but
changing of buyers' mentality. Like we are a little bit more choice. We don't have to just settle for a home. We can find the home that you love now.
Yeah. But why do you think the deals are falling?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I've definitely, and I kind of went through one, not with my client, but heard through a house that we're going to look at. When I was like, this is odd. You went conditional, and it was sale of buyer's property conditional. You had the inspections, and you told me all the inspections were good, apart from a sag and a septic line, which is like, okay, wow, $1,000 max. Get the seller to fix it. Seller's already done it, and they still walked away. And I'm like, why did they walk away? That doesn't make any sense. And she said, I don't know, because it was sale of buyer's property. They did the inspection, everything was good, apart from a sag and a septic pipe. And then the seller said, we'll fix the septic pipe, and they still walked away. And they'd already got their house conditionally sold as well. So I think there's 2 elements. Number one, I think some buyers are going, I don't think we actually really want this house. I think we made a mistake when we wrote the offer. 2-3 days later, okay, how can we get out? Well, we had a sag and a septic pipe. Well, we're just terminating, we're not interested. So I think there's that. And then the other one, definitely financing. Definitely financing.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But you know what, though? So again, most of the product that's selling is between $400 and $600.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I worked with a first-time home buyer. But you prep them. Just so you know, when you write that offer, you are going to be so stressed. You're going to feel that you've made a mistake. You're going to get home. You're going to be fretting.
Second guessing.
And I said, what you're going to experience is normal.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like after everything is said and done, you sit down on a Friday night with your glass of wine and you look around the house, it's yours.
Yeah.
And there's a big smile.
Yeah.
So is it because the agent is not prepping? Like, the emotion that person is going to feel when as soon as, because it's scary.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, especially when you look at the price that you're paying now compared to, you know, even like 10 years ago.
265.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was a first-time home buyer, and you were like, that's pricey. Now first-time home buyer is like, yeah, we're at 550.
Yeah.
And that's a $500,000. That's not a cheap number when you started saying, instead of saying 500, you say $500,000.
$500,000 is a totally different connotation, isn't that
absolutely.
weird?
Yeah. And I think there is that, like, let's go through the emotional roller coaster of buying a house. And as a realtor, you better be talking to your clients of like, okay, listen, we're going to go through every emotion you've ever felt.
Yeah.
Because this is like number 2 biggest stressful thing you're ever going to do in the world.
What's that, marriage?
Number 1 is marriage. Number 2 is buying a house.
Yeah, no.
Number 3 is selling a house and buying a house.
No, it is stressful for sure. But yeah, I just set your buyer up for the roller coaster of emotion because it's normal, and it's normal to have regret. And yeah, so it's so funny. I was with Brenda Kay earlier, and she was talking about the buyer remorse as well.
Yeah, and I think it's not abnormal for people to not have that buyer's remorse either. It's just, you just talk logically, because the good thing with realtors is we aren't emotionally attached to this at all. Like, there is no emotion that we feel. It's like, no, we're here to be the guiding, sensible, level-headed person that gets you from A to F in buying a house. So if we can be more level-headed in emotion, you can obviously have that conversation with you to say, listen, this is absolutely normal. But let's look at why we started this journey together. Let's look at how far we've gone. Let's look at the end goal, F, which is, look at this home. You can make it your own. You can start painting, put up wallpaper. You can put up pictures. You can have the kids in 5 years running around in the backyard and not be stressed about, oh, landlord feels like just not renewing my lease this year.
Yep, no, I hear you. So you were talking about financing of why of some deals are failing.
Yeah.
Would it be any attributed to the Nova Scotia assistance program, you think, that what's happening?
It's possible, but chatting to the mortgage broker, that process, and this is where it's a very good program so long as you fit the criteria, which is price point, qualification of earnings, location, because there's some locations that this program is not available in Nova Scotia. And talking to him, he said, yeah, but there's a few disadvantages. So the first disadvantage is...
So before we get to there, so in Halifax, you can purchase a home up to $570,000.
Yep.
And how much is the down payment they give you?
They give you 5% of the purchase price.
Okay.
So it's going to be CMHC insured.
Yep.
So it's CMHC insurance, but it's a 10-year interest-free loan. And talking to him, he says a lot of the people, because I'm like, well, do they just pay monthly? And he's like, yeah, people just work out what the number is. They pay monthly. But often you'll find that sometime during their ownership, they'll refinance and pay it all off that way. So they won't leave it until the end of that 10 years and be like, great, I've paid off whatever the number may be.
Yeah. So talk to me about what you were, you gave your mortgage broker a call.
Yes. Yeah. So I gave him a call and said, number one, I gave 2 guys a call and said, number one, do you do them? One guy was like, no, like never even seen one. And I'm like, okay, great. So you can't really help me. So I'll talk to the other guy. The other guy was like, yeah, done quite a few, done different locations, different areas. So the price point changes depending where you actually go. So inside of Halifax, and again, you'd have to kind of consult their map as to what they call Halifax. That's the 575. Once you get outside of there, it drops down to 375.
Yeah.
Qualification wise, it's up to $145,000 household income. So if there's 2 people, you can't be having 80 and 80 because you're going to be over the 145. But if it's just one income earning 80, well, you're under the 145. So you would qualify. Disadvantage, not only do you have to actually have a full approval from the bank, this is not pre-approval, go and get the money. This is no, have an offer accepted on a house, go to the bank and get the approval, then go and see if you can get the actual down payment assistance program qualification as well. So guess what that does to the amount of time for your financing condition? 7 days ain't cutting it.
I know. Well, I'm really strict. I got realtor rules.
Yes.
Well, I have buyer rules. And I called my broker the other day because I knew that the buyer assistance program was at least 14 days. And I don't know if you know this part about it. There's 2 people who are working those files within the two people working those files in the Nova Scotia government. That same 2 people are also working the files for the tiny homes that you're allowed within on your piece of land.
Yeah.
One of them just went on a holiday.
Brilliant.
Right, so there's no one picking up the phone or looking at those
That's just
files.
piling up on the desk.
Right, they're piling up. And so I'm thinking, I'm not doing that to my seller. So I called my broker and I'm like, hey, if I get an offer in, I want to know if they're using the down payment program, but I still want to leave the house for sale and give them a 4-hour first right of refusal.
Right.
Same as you would if you had a house to sell.
Yeah, SOPP, yeah.
And I can do it.
There you go.
So I am
Look
making...
at you being creative and finding ways around the problem.
So on my counter offer, I've been making, you have, if you are using this program, you have to disclose that you're using the program, and then you have to agree that, we're still going to have the house for sale.
Yeah, because
there's
the
still no
amount
guarantee.
of time, like a lot of sellers have kind of got 3 things in mind. Number 1, I want this to happen as quick as possible because I do not want my house to be on the market for 6 months of viewings and keeping it perfectly tidy, clean, and all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
So I want it to happen as quick as possible. When I do get the offer, ideally, I'd like the best price possible, but I also want the shortest conditional terms possible so that I know that I'm not just conditional, I'm sold. I'm done. Now I can start packing. But we've just said because of that down payment program, that's now, instead of being typically, I think I try to get away with 7 business days, unless there's wells and septics involved, in which case there's things that are out of my control. But 7 business days tends to be pretty competitive, and we tend to not have an issue if we're competing that I want 7 days versus somebody else I'm in 6. But now, government assistance, I need 14 days.
Maybe now 20.
Yeah, I'm like, I need as long as possible.
And so what I understood is that there's a checklist that the government has that you gotta, and they are using a different program to qualify their buyers. Whereas if you were going to the bank, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah.
And so the 2 aren't talking to each other. And while the government may approve you, the bank is not going to approve you.
Well, that's why my mortgage guy says we get you approved by the bank first. Then, with that approval letter and all the other documents, you go down to the Nova Scotia Housing Plan program and sit there and submit all your documents. And with that program, it's very black and white. Here's the checklist. Do you qualify? Yes, great. Rubber stamp, off you go. Give that to the bank. Now we're all good.
But then
so
some people aren't even prepared.
Approved. Oh, no. Luckily, he just sent me the checklist and it's like, here's all the stuff that they better turn up with.
That's a good idea to have.
So he actually, when they go to him, and they want that program, he's like, here's the rules. Number 1, I've got to get you approved by the bank. So go buy the house, get it accepted.
Yep.
Come to me, I get your approval. But before I've even done that, whilst I'm pre-approving you, here's the checklist. If you're going to go down this plan, this assistance plan, here's the checklist of what you better turn up with. And don't get your offer accepted and go, great, can I get the approval? And then try and get all this document. He's like, no, I need it done beforehand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny. I had, when I get an offer, I want a letter of approval.
Yes.
Because I want to know you started the process.
Yeah.
And I had one guy, he said, well, I haven't, he didn't know who the mortgage broker was. He goes, they're accountants. And I'm like, I don't care if they're accountants. I'm not tying my property up, my seller's property up, and your clients are unprepared.
Yeah.
Like, I want a letter. I need to know who you're working with.
It's the same thing that realtors, all we really have that's of value is our time and our expertise. So if you're going to take up my time and put me in a car and start looking a lot of houses here, there, and everywhere, depending on where you're looking for, I'm always going to be like, are you pre-qualified? Have you got your pre-approval? Are you ready to go? Do you know how much your shopping limit is? Because I'm not being rude to anybody, but if you're going to come to me and say, oh yeah, I'll deal with that later. No. Well, are you buying $100,000 or $1.2 million house? What are we buying? And you don't know. Yeah. You can have a good idea, and please don't tell me you went online to the TD or the RBC calculator and just punched your numbers in and went, like it said, because that's not a pre-approval.
No.
It's like house insurance. You go and put your things in. Oh yeah, $2,000 a year, that's pretty cheap. Ring them up. Yeah, it's now $4,000.
Oh, I know, it's crazy. So we were talking about buyers, and the whole deed transfer tax, I believe, needs to change. But I think it should be a tiered program.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so the average house here is what, let's say 610, 615.
Yeah.
So anything 800 or less should be with the deed transfer tax. So the deed transfer tax, for you don't know, that it's for Canadian buyers who are purchasing a property here but not moving back right away. They need to be moving within the 6 months.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they have to pay an additional 10% deed transfer tax plus our 1.5.
1.5 standard, yeah.
So we have a buyer, their budget is $2 million.
Good budget.
They're from Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
but they're living in Ontario. They just want to buy the house now,
Yeah.
and eventually they're going to move back.
So how long's eventually?
Could be a couple of years, right? They're gearing up for retirement.
So yeah, they're on the 11.5 then.
That completely puts a home out of their budget.
Yeah, 11.5% of 2 million?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But even if you look at, you know, I did the stats, right? So only, there were only 388 homes that sold in Halifax.
Right.
This August. So that is less than 50% of the market, right? So that's only 26% of the inventory is selling.
Wow, that's low.
Yes. Well, and I'll tell you how I did that number, but then I want to go in and talk about the deed transfer tax. So when August first came, there were 969 homes that were active, that were on the market August 1st. During the month of August, another 500 came to list.
Okay.
Making a total of 1,469 homes on the market. Out of that, out of the 500 that listed, only 89 of those sold. So that's, only 89 of those sold. But in total, there was only 388 homes out of the 1,400 that were on the market.
Right.
Yeah, I know. When you look at it like that, it's pretty shitty, right?
Yeah.
Oops, I said that. Because most people look at it, 500 homes came to the market, and there were 388 sold. Oh no, it's not like that.
No.
How many other homes were on the market? So that's what I've been doing now. You've got to change your stats.
Yeah. I'm starting to look as well as like average price versus median prices.
Oh yeah.
Because that got screwed up this month.
Yep, big difference. So only 26% of the inventory sold in August. Is it fair for Lord to have the deed transfer tax on when there's properties that are sitting on and they're not selling? And people need to sell for death, divorce, job.
Yeah. When you look at it, I think deed transfer tax has been a hot topic that nobody really wants to deal with in the government. Because we've been saying flat rate, 1.5%, like that's tough. For some people, they're like, wait a minute, get my lawyer's statement of adjustments 4 days prior to closing. Whoa, what's this number here? Now, if you're sensible, you've prepped everybody who's looking at houses for here's the costs. So don't be surprised when you see this number. But sometimes people are like, that's not a small number.
No.
That's like $15,000, $20,000.
But I'm okay with whatever. It doesn't bother me, because that's just the cost of doing business, right? When you're buying a house, it's 1.5.
It's HST on a resale house. More
essentially,
or less.
yes.
It's the way they do it.
But only 26% is selling.
Yeah.
So is Laura hearing the same stat that, hey, there were 500 homes that were listed in August and 388 sold? Is that the stat that he's hearing that made him make that decision in January? We're going to up it now to 10%?
Possibly. Because he's got to balance that budget somehow. Or not, as the case may be.
Well, yeah, because 26%. Were you aware of that? That's a wild number, right?
No, because I always look at, I'm more interested in how many houses are active and how many sold. And therefore, that's the month of inventory, like 2.5, 2.6 or something like that. Because 1,000 homes for sale and we sold like 400, 399, whatever the number was. So I don't ever look at it in that much detail where I'm like, okay, but if you start looking at which ones were listed and how much sold, then of course it paints a very different picture.
Totally skews it. So what happened? Well, I don't know. I was in July and I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. Because that's how I was doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the showings and the houses are sitting on the market longer.
Yeah.
it's wrong. And then, sorry, this was June. I came to that in my head. So then I went to July and I wrote down what the opening inventory was.
Yeah.
And I just did it for September. It was not 900 and change on the market.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down. Then I'll, at the end, beginning of October, I'll look
the same
at
number again.
Yes, but that's when I do the stats to actually see what's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and the bigger problem we're always doing as well is we're always trying to say where is the market going, but all we can ever look at is where's it been, past tense. So it's like, how are we supposed to be able to predict what's going to happen in the next 3-4 months? And the other thing I've been looking at is like, okay, let's start trending the volume of activity in the year as well. How many deals we're doing. And it's like, we're down something like 7%. If we take last year's last 4 months and add them onto the 8 months we've done this year, we're down 6-7% in terms of volume.
And I started looking at the deals coming back to the market.
Yeah.
That was another one with, and then, so the active homes had 307 changes, price drops.
Yeah.
But when you got an offer, it was 62% of those offers were below asking by an average of $45,000.
Oh, there was some huge price drops.
I know.
Yeah.
There was a lot of price drops. I had one of them. But my seller was given 2 options. Close this month, it'll be X, or close this month and it'll be Y.
Right.
And they chose Y, so it was a big price drop.
Yes.
So, that does happen.
Yeah.
The D transfer tax. And how about the international buyers with only 26% selling?
Yeah, so a lot of the international buyers, like we seem to have seen not a lot last half of last year, first half of this year. All of a sudden now from around about, I'd say June onwards, we've got 7 on the go right now. And they're all at a variety of different stages as well, because a lot of the international buyers are like, great, we would love to turn up today and we've got visas in our passports, we've got jobs waiting for us, we can just turn up. But we haven't sold the house back in the UK. And that's where the majority of the down payment is likely to come from. So the problem with the UK system is it's not like ours, where it's like, here's the date for firm, here's the date you're moving in. There is no dates. Somebody comes to you and says, Sandra, I want to buy your house off you. Here's the offer for £495,000. You go, fine, yeah, good. And like, great, let's go see the lawyers. That's it. There is no, but when do you want to move out? But what about financing? What about inspections, which they call surveys? No, it's just like done randomly whenever people feel like. So I've got one client now, he was meant to be here in April. He's likely moving out here now at the end of September, and he still doesn't know if his house is actually going to be sold cash in the bank.
That's crazy. But do you see I got a lot of American calls. I was shocked how many American calls I got in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uncanny, the amount of calls that I would have received.
Yeah,
and
big question for them is do you know how you can legally come and live in Canada, or are you just hoping to walk across the border and be fine?
I'm like, you need to call an immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
Because I can't help you.
Yeah.
But do you think it's time now if you look at the markets in Ontario, like they're all going,
down.
Is it time for them to now get rid of that foreign buyer ban, because that's here till January 1st, 2027?
Yes. Yeah.
Because there are people who need to sell.
Exactly. So that ban was another little government headline
Makes them look
we
good.
here in Nova Scotia went, what are you talking about? We don't need that here at all. We don't have a lot of foreign buyers that come and just go, yeah, do you know what? I'm just going to buy this and park my money. Because that's not Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is not famed for that kind of thing.
No.
Ontario and BC, maybe.
But not here, no.
But not here. But the federal government come in and go, across Canada. And then they go, oh, actually, maybe we should amend this, because what about all the people that we want, like doctors and industry workers and shipbuilders who want to move here, but now we've just said, sorry, you can't buy a house until 2 years later. It's not very Canadian welcoming to say, yes, come to our country, but don't buy a house. Can't let you buy a house.
Yeah.
So that's where they put the whole, like, your work visa, 183 days or more left on your work visa, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff.
No, it's, I'm thinking September's going to be busier. I've already
Yeah.
have, like, so I was away last week. In the last 2 days, I have 3 appointments set up for next week for listing appointments. Do you think it's going to be better than 26%?
Yes.
Why?
August was low, very low. Like I wasn't expecting to see that low level of inventory. And a lot of it is you kind of get a feeling for, okay, if you're dealing with anywhere from 6 to 15 different buyers at different stages, all looking for different stuff across the whole of HRM, you start seeing the listings that are coming up that are supposedly matching for them. And I'm like, I'm not seeing a lot at all in August. Yet in September, all of a sudden we've had like 3 or 4 of those people go, I noticed this came up for sale. I'm really interested in that. And I'm like, well, that didn't happen in August at all. So it seems already that we're starting to put more listings in and buyers are actually going, that looks appealing. I want to go and see that one, please. Thank you very much.
That's great. So I know we've talked a lot about, I was just really shocked going out past 2 days and looking
seeing what's out there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was shocked. And I was even more shocked that the agent wasn't prepping the seller to show the house.
To make it look good,
Yeah.
as it should do.
Or smell.
Right. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I was totally shocked.
Yeah.
And I shook my head a couple of times. If you had to give a seller advice, what would it be?
Make your house shine, sparkle, and stand out like the big diamond it should be.
Yep, I
In a
agree.
nutshell.
No, you have to. And one property that I went to, the driveway is like this.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, you can't change that.
No.
But
no.
whatever you need to do to the house, it needs to be an oasis when they step in that door.
Yeah.
The backyard the same.
Yeah.
That brutal hill going to your house,
Yeah.
you forget about it as soon as you walk in.
Well, if you've got challenges that you can't change unless you spend a lot of money, you better make sure that everything else is perfect. Because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're going to overcome. Because again, if it's a driveway, that's a first impression as well.
Yeah, and so we got in there, and there was mold in the shower.
Ooh.
And they didn't care about the driveway, but they got in and the house was dirty. So I know that's something you can clean, but
Yeah.
it was what was in their head.
But it's presentation.
Yeah,
you know?
and we're like, it was a hard no.
Yeah.
And it, and the deck was falling apart.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you already have your one biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Fix your deck.
Yeah.
Have your house, presented at its best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, and we've never said to any seller, this is going to be an easy, straightforward, smooth, and simple process. But it's that preparation from the first, because you know, as a realtor, when you walk in for a listing appointment at somebody's house, you know, is there going to be a lot of work to do here? Or am I going to walk in and go, damn, these guys are ready tomorrow?
Yeah.
But if they're not ready tomorrow, please, for the love of God, tell people and be like, listen, you need 2 weeks. Do you need me to get a cleaner in here? Do you need some assistance? Do we need to get a quote on the deck? Do we need to fix these things? Or are you prepared to compensate accordingly in some other manner? And let's leave it at some other manner.
No, I'm with you. So I'm going to have you back again in October.
Yeah, and we'll talk these numbers and see what
Oh
we are
yeah, and I don't know where the market is headed.
Yeah.
We're not crashing.
No.
Prices aren't going down.
Nope.
Prices aren't going, and if you see prices are going down, it's because sellers have unrealistic expectations of what their property should be.
Which is a little bit reflected in here's the original listing price and here's the listing price when you actually get an offer accepted. And that's that like $40-something thousand price drops.
Yeah, and what is it? 62% of offers were below list.
Yeah.
For 45,000, and the ones that were active, there were 307 price drops.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a third, 2/3.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
It's
accurate
crazy.
with your pricing.
I know. Now I want you to start doing what I did for the stats.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get your formula off you and I'll see if we can agree.
Okay, I'm in for it.
Deal.
Thank you so much for
No
coming
worries.
again.